So we're getting a little bit more practice here. If I've got 113 back there and we look at the angle, we are trying to find DGF. Okay. DGF. So it's going to be pretty big there, a lot of that circle. And again, we're going to double it and get 226. So when you go from the inside to the arc, that inscribed or the inside to the arc, you multiply by 2. Okay. So that gives you 226 degrees. Okay. Remember, since that's a major arc, you got to use those 3 letters. Looking here again, we're trying to find WXY. So a common mistake is people might just think we're looking for this angle back here, but we're trying to find the measure of the angle WXY. So even some people might think we're looking for the arc, okay? But make sure you're just paying attention. You probably want to measure or label the angle. So this is angle WXY. So this time we're going from the arc to the inscribed angle. So we have to divide by 2. Okay, so that becomes an angle of 31 degrees. 62 divided by 2. And again, that's not a major arc or anything. That's still a minor arc because it's arc WY right there. But we're just looking for the specific inscribed angle there, cutting the 62.5 to get 31 degrees. If we're looking for angle BC, sorry, arc BC, I don't have an angle that goes through like that. So I kind of got to get creative here. This 47 can lead me to this arc, this AC arc, is double it, because again, we're going from the inscribed angle to the arc. So I double that and I get 94. But what can I do to figure out this blue section right there? How can I figure out that blue section? Well, hopefully you're seeing that the red plus the blue should equal 180 degrees, okay? Because that goes perfectly through the center. That is a diameter. So you want to use that information to figure out that the 94 plus that question mark, that arc BC is 180 degrees. So solving this equation gives you that BC is equivalent to 86 degrees. So this is getting a little bit fun over here. In our next video, we're actually going to create shapes inside circles. Notice that's a quadrilateral right there, but that's kind of getting ahead of ourselves here. We're looking for measure of angle J to K to L. So we're trying to find how big that inscribed angle is there. So I should be able to figure out this whole big arc over here based off of the 53 and 65. Maybe you can see it there. What should the 65, the 53, and then the big red angle add up to? Hopefully you're seeing that they add up to 360. So you just need to do 360 minus 65 minus 53 degrees. That will give you an angle of 242 degrees. And so we can just plop 242 right out there. Okay. But if you're remembering the relationship, if you're looking at arc JML, you have to cut that in half to equal that angle JKL. Okay, so remember, since we're given that arc and we're going to the inscribed angle, we got to divide by 2 there. So 242 divided by 2 is going to be our final answer for that, giving us 121 degrees. This last part is pretty fun, in my opinion. So these 2 angles there, if you extend those lines out a little bit farther, it's a little bit easier to see. The red and the green if you notice, they make the same arc. They go through that same arc, which can be a little bit difficult to see, but hopefully you're seeing it there, that they go through that perfect same arc right there. And so what can we say about that? We can say that if two inscribed angles intercept that exact same arc, then the angles have to be congruent. If you think about it, if I said that that arc was, let's say 80 degrees, okay, then I have to cut it in half to get angle 1 to be 40 degrees. I would also have to cut it in half to get angle 2 of 40 degrees. So sometimes it's a little bit easier to see it when you've got a specific number in play right there. So this kind of same situation is happening in our example. It's asking for ADB, so I'm going to go ahead and extend it. For some reason, for me, I like to extend it so it actually cuts the arc. ADB is that angle there. I would cut 24 in half to get 62. And then if I'm also looking for ACB, it also goes through that 124 arc. So I can cut that perfectly in half and get 62 again. Again, coming up in a couple days is we're actually going to create shapes. Oh man, it's going to be so fun. Shapes within the circle.